Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes, the channel that encourages you to discover the wisdom of your soul. And in today's video, I am answering a question from a viewer by the name of Zara. And Zara wrote in and asked, would you be open to doing a video on why we are born here on Earth? Yes, I would. The question continues, do we reincarnate to clear karma? And how do we stop reincarnating here on Earth? So this question can really be broken down into two parts, right? Like, why are we here? How do we stop coming here? How do we stop reincarnating into this hellhole known as Earth? I feel you, Zara, I do. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering these same questions, like, why do we keep getting sent back here? What is wrong with us? Well, here's the thing. We come to Earth for a variety of reasons. I don't believe that there's just one. Now, the reason that we're most familiar with is karma, just like Zara mentioned here. And karma is the belief that we accumulate debt in different lifetimes. And as we accumulate this debt, we have to pay that debt off in the next life. And when I say debt, this is like an energy debt. So for example, let's say that in a previous life, I was just a horrible person. I was scum. I was constantly lying to people. Maybe I was robbing people. I don't know, but let's just assume I was terrible. I was a terrible person. I was not a good person. So what could essentially happen is that to make up for my poor behavior in that lifetime, my next reincarnation would be a life in which I'm robbed, in which people lie to me, in which bad things happen to me all the time because I am now on the receiving end of the actions that I dealt out in the previous lifetime. Some people also believe that the debt that we accumulated in that past life becomes magnified in the next one. So if I lied to one person, 10 people are going to lie to me. If I robbed one person, 10 people are going to rob me, or they're going to rob me of something bigger and take something away from me that's even more precious than what I stole in another lifetime. And the reason for this is so that I learn my lesson, so I understand how much this hurts, how agonizing the situation is, and so that most of all, I won't do it again. So karma is this system that helps people in their personal and spiritual development. Now, the other way that karma can play out isn't just that random people will come do these terrible things to me to teach me a lesson. The other component to that is that we can be indebted to one person or to a community, or there may be groups, soul groups that we travel with in each lifetime so that we can all learn different lessons together. And we see this happen actually a lot, or I've heard this happening a lot with different families. You've heard me talk about family and generational curses before, right? There could be a bloodline and also a spirit line that continues to reincarnate into that same family line over and over and over again to break some type of generational curse. Because a generational curse isn't always some type of ritual or legit curse that's placed on a family or person in the family that continues down that bloodline or lifeline, although it can be. That's a possibility too. It can start with just one horrible person being born into that family, one person who's just awful, that perpetuates abuse and false beliefs and all sorts of trauma for that bloodline. And that continues through that bloodline, through that family, until someone steps up and says, okay, we've had enough. It's time to change the dynamics here. So in that way, that's a community. That is a soul community that keeps reincarnating because they're trying to heal a bloodline. They're trying to understand the dynamics, fix the dynamics, and also, of course, learn different lessons out of that experience and heal from all of the past trauma that may have happened in those previous lifetimes. So I don't believe karma is the only reason we incarnate here on Earth. In fact, a few months ago, as I was driving, I was thinking about past lives and why we reincarnate. I can talk, see, I did it. As I was pondering this, and I was just kind of talking to my angels and throwing this idea out there, one word came to mind, and that word was mastery. Mastery. We are here, we reincarnate onto Earth to learn mastery. So we're here to master some type of a lesson. The third reason is adventure. Adventure. Okay, you have to admit that Earth is pretty adventurous. It is. It is full of so much drama. Guys, our lives have all the makings of a Hollywood blockbuster. I mean, when you think about it, how many of us have been through poverty? How many of us have been through breakups? How many of us have lost our jobs, have been through foreclosure? We all have these fantastic, sentimental, tear-jerking, motivational, inspirational stories that are our own lives. Hollywood ain't got nothing on us, guys. That's all I'm saying. I believe we come here for adventure. I believe we come here just to play out a role and have something different to do. So when we're in the great beyond, whichever realm that is for us, and we decide to come back, it may not be for karma. It may not be for mastery. We may have already mastered something. We're just like, hey, you know what? Haven't been to Earth in a while. I could use some adventure. Yeah, let's go down there. Let's check out that hellhole, right? Why not? And I know that I get it sounds crazy. I get it sounds crazy. But think about it. What greater video game is there for our avatars, our higher selves, our spirits than Earth? Yeah, there's a lot of realms out there. There's darker realms than this one. There's heavier realms. There's lighter realms where things are easier. I think that this is kind of, I want to say, a middle ground. I'm feeling like it's too below the middle ground. So it's just the right amount of adventure and chaos. That is another reason why we come here, just to live out a different story, regardless of what we did in the past, regardless of what our past lives may have been. We come here just to try something different out. And it makes sense when you think about it, because I don't know how the other realms evolve. I have no idea. But when you look at Earth, Earth's evolution has been pretty extraordinary over the last 200 years. And we're not slowing down when it comes to technology and all the incredible breakthroughs that we're having in health and science, even in the realm of mysticism. Everything is highly fascinating now. So if you were here on Earth 200 years ago, you think that's going to be a different experience if you were born today and you live 70, 80 years out from today? Hell yeah, there's a lot of amazing things to experience now that you weren't able to 200 years ago. So we come here to experience the evolution of humanity because it's interesting, because it's potentially fun. And there's actually a fourth reason. And so the fourth reason that we may choose to reincarnate, or that some people reincarnate, is because they have a specific skill or purpose that is necessary for that point in time. There are magnificent minds out there that we need to come back to Earth to kind of do a course correction, because Earth has this way, the people and the energy of Earth have this way of just spinning things out of control. So every once in a while, we need some very specific skills. We need people with a specific way of problem solving, of inventing, of leading, to come down here to aid in a course correction. Because without those people, without people coming down here to be enlightened teachers, to encourage people to get back to their spiritual roots, or even to teach people how to take physical care of the environment and care of one another, things would spiral too much out of control. Earth is central to many different realms. And just as I was saying earlier, how we're all connected here on this earth, all the realms are connected too. So what happens to one realm affects all of us. So Earth is important. Earth is actually kind of a linchpin in this system that we have. And so if Earth spirals too much out of control before something is figured out, then it messes up all the realms. No realm is perfect. They all rely on each other. So in order to keep some type of order on Earth, we need specific people to come back. we need them to reincarnate because they have a skill, they have a leadership quality, they have a behavior, they have a unique way of seeing things. Whatever skill it is that they have, whatever mindset they have, and even power, whatever spiritual power they may have, it's required. So they may not come here for adventure. They're not coming here to clear karma. There's no karma for them to clear. They're here because it becomes a mission. It's something that they know they need to do when they get here. So if you've ever met someone who is so focused on one thing and so driven in one direction that they become obsessed with it, that is quite possibly, and I mean a healthy obsession where they're trying to, where someone's wanting to cure cancer, or they're wanting to invent something that would enhance the lives of other people, or they've got this spiritual mission that they have to accomplish that's nonviolent, that truly is enlightening and loving. Those are the heroes of our world. Those are our heroes. Those are the ones that reincarnate, and we may never hear their names. We may never know that they exist. They may exist in the shadows. They may never get any type of fame, any type of fortune. They may just want to come here, do their jobs, figure out the course correction, stay in the shadows, no publicity, no praise. They just want to do their job and then get out, and then they're done. That's a possibility too. So those are a few different reasons as to why people reincarnate here. And if you don't want to reincarnate here on Earth again, then you probably don't have to. People reincarnate here because there's some type of necessity, with the exception of number 3, which is adventure. Woo! So, other than that, we had, karma, mastery, and a course correction, which, we could also say is a form of a purpose that we need to live out here. There's something that we need to do to help mankind, help humanity, and help the earth stay on track. Because there are a lot of forces working against us, because this is a level of hell, and hell is chaos, and hell is painful. And so even when we're coming down here as heroes, even when we're coming down here to fulfill a purpose and to set things right, or at least put things back on a course correction, we take on some of that pain. We are not exempt from it. We are not inoculated from it. In fact, it makes our purpose, I think, that much more important, because on a soul level, we know what's at stake, right? So there are a lot of different reasons as to why we reincarnate. And if we're honest with ourselves, they're all good. They're all good purposes. They all serve us and others in some way, shape, or form. But if we're honest, sometimes the journey sucks, right? It's not always fun to be living on hell on earth. So those are my views on why we reincarnate. And if you're asking, okay, so how do we stop reincarnating here? You live your best life now. You live your best life now. You do your best to pay off your karmic debts by being incredibly loving and kind and compassionate towards other people. You learn what it is that you need to master. You make mastery your life purpose. You can figure out what type of adventures you want to go on, because maybe you were that crazy person who decided you wanted to be here for adventure. If you're that type of person, you may notice that you don't know what your purpose is, because you didn't come here for one. There is no karma to clear up. There is no mission. It's adventure. So you can create a purpose, and you can start going towards that. That may give you some type of grounding and something to tether into. And purposes can also be highly adventurous, right? Purposes are adventurous, I can tell you that. So if you can think of another reason why people may reincarnate here on Earth, join the conversation in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your views on this. And if you know which of the 4 reasons you came down here, or like I said, if there's a 5th one, tell us your stories. I want to hear all about it. I know that the other people in this community would like to hear about it too. So thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here, I'd like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community, and I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button. Also be sure to hit that little bell icon so you can be notified when I release new videos in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.